Hi, I'm Marci Diehl, the 2004 recipient of the ATHENA Award. When I was asked to be nominated, I was very surprised because I felt that I didn't have a typical kind of career that I had known as far as other women who had already received the ATHENA Award. I was a career writer and working on my own for many years by that time and working remotely back when it wasn't necessary or desirable. But I went ahead with the nomination process, and I think for many women, we all go through the same thing as nominees. We're asked what we've done in our careers or what we've done in the community or maybe who we have mentored or encouraged as far as other women in our field and careers. And you start to make that list, and then you kind of come back and say, well, oh, wait a minute, I forgot this. And then I forgot that. And you keep adding to that so that by the time you have a nomination, it's kind of an exercise that all women should go through because you realize there in black and white that you've had some pretty awesome achievements in your life. You've done good and you've contributed to the community that you love. So, even so, when I was sitting there waiting for the announcement of the ATHENA in 2004, I didn't think it would be me. There were so many women that I could see were completely worthy of that. So it was a huge surprise. Absolutely. I was floored and very, very happy. So what's it meant for my career? It's the fact that on my resume, I can say that I am an ATHENA. I have achieved those things, and I take my place with the many other accomplished, wonderful women that have received it before me and since then. It also helped, I think, as I progressed in my career. I've recently made a big career change at a different time of my life and am now the executive director of the Ontario County Historical Society Museum and Research Center. And I'm loving it. Those skills that I've had and I had developed transferred so beautifully into the position that I have now. So I would say that having those skills and receiving the ATHENA was a real bonus. As far as one or two women that I truly admire and who inspire me, I would say that I'm related to both of them. The first is my aunt. Her name was Sister Catherine John, Sister Notre Dame, Dana Moore. My Aunt Bet went from being first of all, she was the most awesome spirit and person and so full of life and love. And that's the key. And secondly, she became a first and second grade teacher. She progressed on to become a principal of a grammar school. And she gradually became the head of the Diocese of Baltimore for, what would you call it? Education, basically, Sunday school, that sort of thing. But she was hugely, hugely admired. And she was my mentor when I was growing up. We exchanged letters and eventually we could visit each other. She earned 2 degrees and was working on her final degree when she suffered a devastating stroke but she powered on despite the problems that she had with her stroke. She was able to learn to speak again and continue to inspire so many people. So when it came for her funeral, it was amazing to see everybody from boys, well, now men, that had had her as a teacher, that still kept up with her and loved her, to let's say big chiefs big chiefs in the diocese. She was beloved, and she accepted everyone. She just poured out love and acceptance, no matter who you were, or when and what time in your life. The second person I think about was another aunt, and a sister of my mom and my Aunt Bet, and that was Catherine O'Connell. She was a career Foreign Service State Department wife who was actually married to my uncle, who was worked for the CIA, but we didn't know that. However, she traveled all over the world. She started out with him in Pakistan. Then she eventually, and he eventually moved to Lebanon, and then they moved to finally to Jordan, and were very involved in the peace process over there. It was a huge sacrifice for my aunt, because she had to kind of have that career as a diplomat's wife and a spy's wife. But she was so brave, even though her letters home talked about how desperately she missed her own American family. And I think my aunt, through her letters and when she was talking and when she came home, she showed me a different part of the world and a different view of the world, of the Arab world, and had many friends and people that, if I had not had my Aunt Cap talking about them, I would have never known those lives. So those are two people. Both made sacrifices. Both were just tremendous women. And from afar, because I live up here in Rochester, and they lived in Baltimore and in other countries, over the years, they still had an influence on me. I think the important thing about having the ATHENA program in Canandaigua is we need to constantly be recognizing and encouraging and pointing out the many, many terrific women. I think in Canandaigua we have a tremendous history of accomplished, incredible women leaders, business people, of all kinds. And I think that to keep an eye out for those women who may not think that they're really noticed, or sometimes they don't really want to be noticed, but when they finally are, they know that they're seen, they're appreciated, they're valued, and we are behind them and support them as much as we can. So thank you for asking me, and I applaud the ATHENA and young professional ATHENAs, whoever they may be, past and present. Thanks.